1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. Uranus in Sagittarius. So I have this placement. So with Uranus in Sagittarius, first of all, Sagittarius energy is basically Jupiter energy. Sagittarian energy is known to be the philosopher, the preacher, basically the speaker, basically higher learning. It's like Gemini is the opposition of Sagittarius. So Gemini energy is all about being curious about just the everyday thing. Like, you're curious. It's like, to me, Gemini energy, it's like a Gemini is who created that saying, let's sip this tea, give me this tea. It's like gossip. Where with Sagittarian energy, is a snob to that kind of energy because you don't have time for tea. Like basically you want some soup. You want something of substance, even though tea could be substance too, but you want some soup. You want something that's rich, something that is filled with substance, something that's going to build you up and make you strong. And that's how Sagittarians feel about higher learning and expanding their mind. So to me, Jupiterian energy is like a magnifying glass energy. It's like wherever you put Jupiter energy, Sagittarius energy, it's like you're going to expand that topic and you're going to basically take it as far as you can take it. And that's why I say Gemini energy will have to do with gossip and whatnot, and Sagittarius energy is preaching energy. You're uplifting the masses. You're taking your big way of thinking, your futuristic way of thinking, and you're helping other people to see the bigger picture. That's Sagittarius energy, focusing on big picture thinking. And then we put Uranus here, which is very innovative and rebellious and truth-seeking and truth-speaking and chaotic. You put it in Sagittarius energy. This makes for a type of person who basically will rebel from other philosophers and other way of being and seeing and doing things. Like for myself personally, when it came to studying numerology, basically you guys would reach out to me and ask me, how did you learn numerology? And it was self-taught. Yes, I did Google the basics of each number, but once I Googled the basics of each number, then I started with the whole magnifying glass, amplifying energy of Jupiter, where I started observing each number by the way that number looks physically and, how the shape of the number, to know how energy moves through that number. And then I started observing my clients at the salon to observe the number within them and how that number expresses themselves through them. So I completely rebelled from traditional way of doing it, where you guys, some people will reach out to me and say, well, my soul urge this and this, that, and the next. And it's like, yeah, I'm familiar with that, but I completely went my own direction when it comes to that. So you guys with this placement might find that, say when it comes to college, maybe, like me, you went to college, but you didn't go to college to follow society's norms. When it came to college, you went to college, but you knew that after you were going to do your own thing with it. You just wanted to expand your mind when it comes to that topic. Or maybe you guys are the ones who didn't go to college, but basically it didn't matter if you went to college or not. It's like you had the ability to teach yourself a topic, because it's like the thing that I am becoming well versed in is not the thing that I went to college for. It's like basically it's what I'm teaching myself on. And the thing that I did go to college for, fashion, I made the dress that I'm wearing, but I knew how to sew before I even went to college. So that's the point with this, placement. It's like the higher mind of Uranus comes together with the expansive thinking of Jupiter, the larger than life way of thinking. So with this placement, it's like with Sagittarius and Jupiter and Uranus coming together, Uranus in Sagittarius energy, it's like when it comes to studying any subject or topic, it's like all it takes is for you to be genuinely interested in it. Because once you're genuinely interested in a topic, you get to connect your Uranus mind, your higher way of thinking. And basically you're going to channel through new and innovative ways of doing things. Like what just came to mind as I'm speaking is Abraham Hicks. You know, I'm sure you guys have heard of her in the whole spiritual community or whatnot. And with her being someone who is speaking, you know, and teaching people big picture thinking, but at the same time, Abraham Hicks is really Esther channeling the energy of Abraham. I feel like with this placement, it's like we have the ability to channel through information. So whether we are channeling through a way of doing something, a way of being, or even channeling an entity through that knows everything that there is to know about a specific subject, it's like we have the ability to open up our minds in those ways, and information just comes through to us, and we don't know how it comes through to us or why it comes through to us the way it does, but we just know it works, and we just have to trust ourselves. It's like the system that I created doing numerology, and with my system and the way I place my numbers, it's like when I started studying numerology, it's almost like I felt like I was losing my mind. It's like every day I would come home from work and on one side of my bed would be covered in papers with numbers on it and different formulas and celebrities' names and their numbers, and I'm making these comparisons, and I'm going to the salon and I'm doing the same. And it's like basically I focus on the higher learning of the subject. And it's like I was able to sit back and literally witness myself like channeling through all this information. And when it was all said and done, it made sense. And I just don't know where it comes from or how it works or whatnot. I just know that, like, you know, my lower Mercury mind was curious about a topic. My Sagittarian energy wanted to expand on it, and then the Uranian energy just funneled the information through, and it's like, whoa, I know. Like, I don't know how I know, but I just know. With this placement, you will find that, like, maybe when you were in school, like, you rebelled against your teachers, like, you and your teachers had a relationship that was very sudden and unexpected. It's like one minute, you know, you like your teacher, the next minute you don't like your teacher. And the reason for this may have been your confidence. Like maybe your confidence made your teacher uncomfortable. Like say, for example, you're in school and you have a teacher that's teaching social media marketing, but you know that your teacher is teaching something that they'd never experienced personally. And all it takes is for you to look at the whole situation and realize it doesn't make sense. Like, how are you teaching me fashion marketing when you don't even own a fashion company? Like, you're here working for the school. That's your only job. Like, you don't even know what it's like to put your own business out there. And if you did, you wouldn't be here. So because of that, like, you might challenge your teachers because you're asking questions from a higher mind and they're not able to answer those questions. So because of that, like, you might annoy the shit out of them. Like, you might frustrate them because you ask these questions that they can't even wrap their mind around because they're not coming from a personal experience. So yes, with this placement, you might frustrate like your teachers and authority figures when it comes to learning, higher learning and things like that. When it comes to traveling, you know, you might find that you like to travel to places like Sagittarian energy, period, likes to basically go away from itself. So say you have Sagittarius in the 4th house. You might find that you need to get away from your mother and your home. Like you always, it's like your idea of fun and excitement is to get away. Like the idea of getting away just feels like it'll solve all your problems when really it will not. And with Uranus being in Sagittarius, it's like you might find that, you know, you just get up and go with the sudden and unexpected changes. And what's cool about this is that you might stumble upon people and opportunities that can change your life for the better forever. or you can stumble upon danger because you never took the chance or took the time to think things through. You just jumped up and just went, you know. So pay attention when it comes to this placement, the need to move suddenly and quickly, like that could create challenges for you. Another thing that came to mind with this placement is like the whole rebelling thing. And with me, sometimes it's like I'll rebel and I'll realize, okay, shit, like I still need to look into the community in the sense that, like, yes, I'm here and I'm sharing astrology, numerology, and just self-awareness on a whole. But as humans, like, we collectively agree to things. So if I'm not checking in with the community to a certain extent, like I might completely miss the mark and, you know, like basically cause my audience, you know, the people who support my information to be completely lost, because it's like, as humans, we all subscribe to a certain way of thinking and being. So it's super important for you to question your need to rebel sometimes, because not always we need to rebel and reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it is okay for us to go with the flow of what's happening and refurbish some things and add value to it instead of doing it completely over. So ask yourself sometimes when you find yourself rebelling in this area of your life, like, are you rebelling because you have thought things through and it makes sense to go a completely different route, which will be great because you will be innovative when it comes to like whatever it is that you create. You will be innovative when it comes to your philosophy, your teaching, and your spiritual healing, you know, healing others. Because with this placement, like, we make great teachers and people who will work in the world of spirituality and philosophy, because again, we're connecting with the higher octane of Mercury, the higher mind. We're funneling information through and we're able to uplift the masses with it. But at the same time, again, ask yourself if you're rebelling because, you know, you've thought something through and your higher self and spirit just says it makes sense to rebel. Or ask yourself if you're rebelling just because, like, you're like, fuck it, like, I just don't want to do that, like, but don't have no good reason to why you just don't want to do that, or you just don't want to follow that approach or whatnot. So, you know, ask yourself why you're rebelling. And again, like I've said in other videos, a fact is a collective agreement. So a lot of the times we'll come together and say, like, this is a fact and that's a fact. Like, who says it's a fact? Because so many people came together and said it's a fact. That's what makes it a fact. So it's like, yes, I'm all for rebelling, but again, ask yourself why you're rebelling, because sometimes we'll rebel and want to make moves, and those moves could be completely dangerous because we didn't think the time to think it through and we just want to move for the sake of moving. And again, with Aquarian, Uranus energy be a truth-seeking, truth-speaking energy, you might find that you rebel against religion. You grew up Christian and you rebel, and now you're on a spiritual path. But in the process of rebelling, you have been able to connect with the God within and been able to see things in a new and innovative way. And based on your own personal experiences, you're able to share your views and wake up the masses. So yes, I'm all for rebelling, but at the same time, it's important for us to be conscious and self-aware and always check in with ourselves and know why we're doing what it is that we're doing. I'm going to ask you to drop me a blue heart emoji or a thumbs up emoji in the comment box below if you resonate with this message and you're still here. I'm not telling you, so you don't need to rebel. I am simply asking. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.